So this is my Tonkraf Phoenix. I gotta keep the volume fairly low for this part of the video because I'm already rubbing my eyes. I just started the video. I'm gonna keep the volume fairly low for this part of the video, just so that it doesn't compete with my the iPhone doesn't squish my voice. That's right, I'm doing this on iPhone with my as always amazing production values. I haven't been interested in a amp in years, to be honest, until I played this. And when I played this, I frankly have sort of been in love ever since. I don't know how. It's a 2EL84 amp. The reason I don't know how is because it has what seems like an indefinite amount of volume. It has as much volume and as much low end. I mean, it's got real thump on the low end. So, you know, I hear 2EL84 amp. I get fairly excited because I'm a big fan of the Sir Badger. But the Badger, as much as I love the tone, it's not loud enough for most gigs. There's no actual bass. That bass knob is like a low mid knob. And so watch for people to have it turned up. I don't know what everybody's speaker cab sounds like, so maybe that's, you know, but they're turning up low mids. And when I see somebody with it on 5 or higher, I just think that's someone setting it with their eyes, not with their ears. My ears always had me set it at barely on, just enough to feel that low mid range. But so I mean, as much as I love the Badger, you know, it has serious issues with, you know, using it day-to-day gigging, I think. But the tone is great. So I think I know what, you know, a 2EL84 amp is going to be. I think it's probably going to be basically that. And this is not that. It turned out to be completely different, and I love it somehow way more than I love the Badger. Way more. Partly because, whereas the Badger is kind of like a Voxy Marshall, this is like, think of this as like a Matchless Fender. A Fender with some Matchless thrown in, right? So in my old age, I'm 112 now, I've gotten way more into just Fender clean tones, you know, just fat, round, clean tones with enough chime, but not Vox chime, you know. But whereas used to, I like Vox chime. I'm just like on top. Nowadays, to the extent that I like chime, I typically don't get it in the amp. I typically get it elsewhere. But well, this comes in and it's like a matchless-y Fender. It's like a big Fender, but with a tight, like a bigger bass and a tighter bass. That's, you know, what modern Fenders, you know, modern Fender clones, like the FTR 37, kind of like that. But I like the sound of this better than the FTR 37. The FTR 37's always, that's a top 3 amp ever for me, you know? And it got kicked down a peg when I played this. And so 18 watt EL84 somehow tons of volume, tons of bass. I don't know how. It sounds freaking flawless. It's the most perfect sounding amp I've ever played. It takes pedals perfectly well because it's a perfect Fender with a tight bass, you know what I mean? I mean it's a matchless-y Fender with a tight bass. I mean, you already know that's going to take pedals perfectly well. This is with the tone knob off. Sounds freaking glorious. If I start dialing in the tone, it just slightly matchless-izes things. And at no point on the knob does it's like, oh man, that's too harsh or whatever. It's not like that. It's like subtlety, subtlety, subtlety. And here it is. I turn it up to 5 here. And it's just a little chime here. Turn it up more. That's about on 7. Here's 8. Sounds perfect on 8. You know what I mean? It sounds perfect everywhere. You can turn it. I'll do this on the other video because I can't. So I want to do it loudly. I mean, on the second part, I'll edit them together or put them as 2 different videos. I don't know, man. You can crank, so it sounds flawless at clean and semi-clean. And for whatever reason, if I do it here on this part of the video, it's going to make my speaking too quiet. It may already have. I've taken it to literally every gig where I needed an amp over the past month and a half or however long I've had it. Every single gig, because the first time I took it, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking in love. And I had the most fun I've had at a gig in years because I have this big bad amp. And it just made me happy for 4 hours, you know? And so I'm playing it, it's killing, you know, and at no point am I even close to running out of volume, unlike other 18 watt, 18 watts, it's not supposed to be able to do that. And it has more volume. And it's very clean until you get up to, I don't know, probably like 5 or so, but it's loud by then. And then the power amp starts distorting more. And that sounds freaking glorious. It sounds glorious doing all that. It sounds glorious when you start turning the gain knob up. You know, it starts to do that. Well, it starts to do that Van Halen Marshall thing, where the amp is splatting on every note. But then if you keep going, it starts doing that. You know, you remember those Eric Gales? I remember there was like some way overpriced amp that Eric Gales was playing. But one of the cool things was like he was turning it up high and it sounded like there was a fuzz in the circuit, kind of. And it was really cool. This does that amazingly well. As you get way high up on the gain knob, it's just like the amp sounds like it's like every note is on fire and exploding, and it's awesome. Anyway, I'm in love. And on this channel, I always tell you what I think, because that's what I do in person. By the way, if you're looking for a friend like that who will just tell you what he thinks all the time, if you're wise, the type of wise person who looks for friends like that, that's me. And I'm telling you, I am in love with this thing. It's amazing. So yeah, and I'll do a separate video where I turn it up loud, but it's perfect. Does it? I mean, whatever. Oh wait, whoops. So look, tone knob off. Flawless. All right, show me a better tone than that. I mean, I bet you could get a better player, you know, and they'll make a better tone. But maybe out of this amp, that's a perfect Nashville semi-clean. Does it take pedals well? You bet. I don't want to get too loud. I'll do it on the separate one, but perfect. I'll show you what it can do loudly.